SmackDown took place in Miami, Florida tonight, just south of where last night's Raw took place in Tampa, and that was, of course, the Raw reunion. And here on SmackDown, you have a bit of a shake-up in the announcers. I believe Byron Saxton's father passed away, if I'm not mistaken, so my deepest condolences go to Byron. And what you have on commentary is you have Tom Phillips, but you have David Otunga, and no Corey Graves, but you had Xavier Woods and Big E on commentary with him, and you had Michael Cole come later in the show. I was groaning where we start the show. Shane McMahon comes out, and it's just, I can't take it anymore. I don't want to watch. You do a whole best in the world stuff. Hopefully Kevin Owens beats him, and that's it. I was thinking they didn't do this, but I thought this could have been a cool idea with Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin on Raw. If they wanted to, they could have had Shane and Vince come out, and you could have had Austin and KO each give them the center. Austin gives Vince the center, and KO gives Shane the center. I thought that would have been kind of cool, but they don't do that. So eventually we have a match. It's official. Shane McMahon will face Kevin Owens at SummerSlam. I don't know if there's a stipulation. I mean, they had the Hell in a Cell match 2 years ago where Shane McMahon jumped off the Hell in a Cell through an announce table. So it's hard to top that. I don't know where else we're going to go here from there, but that's what you get. They go back and forth. Kevin says he's going to beat the living hell out of Shane. Kevin asks Shane if he's talking too much. And Shane announces that Kevin has to face Roman Reigns tonight. We go to commercial, and we come back. We see Shane with his buddies. He's with Elias and Drew and those guys. And he is praising himself. It's just going on for too long. And then what happens is he's going to add some stipulations. It's basically Shane needs a special guest referee, which is going to be Drew McIntyre, and Elias will be the special guest timekeeper, and Shane is the special guest ring announcer. So adding the stipulations. It's kind of like when Vince McMahon used to stack the deck against Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the day. So there's another comparison for you. Next, we go to Apollo Crews against Nakamura, a non-title match. Apollo Crews has nothing. He would be so much better in All Elite Wrestling or even Ring of Honor or New Japan. WWE is not going to cut it for him. He's not going to go anywhere. There's just not going to be a future for him there. So, he'd be better off leaving somewhere else, and Nakamura beats him up after. So maybe he is going to leave. And if they bury you so badly, they might release you. You never know. So we go backstage. We see Sonya Deville sitting down, and then two hands go over her eyes, and it's Mandy Rose. And best friends, they do that to each other. Girls do that to each other, but it's something a couple does. And Mandy tells Sonya that she got a match with them against the Iconics next week, and if they win, they get a title match. I don't know what happens to the Kabuki Warriors now, but that's going to happen. And after that, what they do is they embrace. Sonya hugs Mandy, and she hugs her well, and she puts her hand over her, and it looks like something's going to happen. They just stare at each other, but I think we're going to go here. I think we're going to do a lesbian angle. Sonya Deville is a lesbian in real life. She has a hot girlfriend. It's not Mandy Rose, but she's a hot girlfriend, a hot blonde. And Mandy Rose is straight, obviously. I think she's engaged to an NXT star, but this is a decent choice because Sonya is a lesbian, and it's very easy to believe. I mean, does anyone doubt that Sonya Deville has ever not looked at Mandy Rose and said, "Damn, come on"? Of course she has. So I'm sure they're friends. It's not really like that, but I think they're a decent choice to do this angle with. So I think they've wanted to do an LGBT storyline for a while. I think that these two are a good choice to go with. We see Ali, and he does. I don't know. I don't like these promos anymore. They're just old. Sometimes with WWE is they do these promos. The first time's good, but then they'll do it for about 6, 7, 8 weeks straight, and then they have nothing for the guy, so they keep doing these promos, and it's just not good. Miz is in the ring. It's Miz TV with Shawn Michaels as his special guest. So he had the New Day on commentary, and they sing Shawn's song when he comes out. It was kind of funny, Big E and Xavier. Shawn eventually gets to the ring, and Miz and Shawn, they talk about the Marine 6 that they co-starred in with, I think it was them, I think someone else. Could have been a woman wrestler with them, I'm not sure. But Shawn is praising NXT, Then Dolph Ziggler comes out, and you have them go back and forth. And Ziggler says he used to idolize Shawn, but he says he used to. You had the chance to go off onto the sunset as the greatest performer, but what did you do? Every chance you got, you had to shuffle your way back, you're out to wave to the crowd. So basically, he's kind of referencing the Saudi Arabia match. It's embarrassing as the legends last night for Goldberg in a wrestling ring. So, yeah, he ripped Goldberg. Last November, when you came back to the ring, you broke his heart. Dolph says he will say what no one wants to say. You were embarrassing, which is probably a Shawn Michaels line. Shawn probably wanted that there because he probably was embarrassed by the match, judging by his reaction after it. Shawn tells Ziggler he won't disagree with him. He was embarrassed. What he is doing, but what is more embarrassing to him is to work your entire career and still be left with nothing but being known as a second-rate Shawn Michaels wannabe, which is definitely true as well. And then Dolph goes after Shawn, and eventually there's a brawl, and Dolph nails a super kick to Shawn Michaels, and what happens is The Miz was knocked down in this exchange too, and The Miz goes after Dolph, but Dolph leaves the ring, and he leaves Shawn Michaels laying. I think maybe Dolph and Shawn at SummerSlam. I don't think that's out of the question. I think that's definitely a possibility. So next we have Charlotte and Ember Moon. Ember comes out, then Charlotte comes out. Bayley immediately comes out to distract Charlotte. Ember Moon hits a roll up for the 3 count, which stuns Charlotte. Then after the match, Ember Moon throws Bayley back into the ring, and Charlotte beats her up, and then Ember comes and hits the Eclipse onto Charlotte. So Bayley and Charlotte are both left laying next to each other in the ring, and Ember walks away. Kofi Kingston's walking in the back, and Roman. Then we see Roman walking in the back. Michael Cole joins the two of them for commentary. Kofi is out, and he wants to call out who he's going to face. It's Randy Orton, no surprise to anybody. Orton's, they reminisce about the feud they had 10 years ago. They had that match in Madison Square Garden when Kofi hit the boom drop from in the stands. Randy says, Kofi basically accuses Randy Orton of using his influence to hold him back, and Randy says he did. He says Kofi was not ready. I don't think he was holding him back. I just think they didn't think anything of Kofi. Randy rips his fake Jamaican accent, throwing pancakes or shake his ass. Randy says he wins Royal Rumbles and WrestleManias is only because of him that you had a title shot against Daniel Bryan. He entered Ali before Elimination Chamber and you took his place. Says you don't deserve that championship and you can take the title anytime he wants. And Kofi accepts the match. It's official to Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston for the title. And Kofi is going to face Samoa Joe in the next match. So this was kind of a disaster. Everything goes crazy here. Orton gets himself disqualified. Kofi lays out Joe with the kick, and then Randy Orton... Joe gets laid out with... Joe gets laid out with an RKO, then Kofi hits Orton with the kick, the Trouble in Paradise, and he stands tall. They show Owens getting ready for his match. So we go to the ring, and Kayla Braxton, who is looking smoking hot as usual, is interviewing Finn Balor. And I'm focused on Kayla here, to be honest. Kayla also did the backstage interview. As I said, they've got some really good looking female announcers. It was okay, the interview's fine, and eventually Bray interrupts, and we go to the Firefly Funhouse, which is kind of interesting, and Bray basically challenges Finn to a match, but not with Bray, the Fiend. Bray is basically what Finn Balor is, and the Fiend is the Demon. That's how it's kind of what it's going to be. I don't know if we're going to see the Demon against the Fiend, but I think Finn Balor should lose. I think he's going to take time off after SummerSlam, and I'm really of the belief that he needs to lose as a Demon to the Fiend. If they really want to get this Bray Wyatt Fiend character over, they need to have him beat Finn Balor the Demon. If he's going to face regular Finn Balor, it won't mean nothing. He needs to beat the Demon to get this thing over. And I hope they let him do that, but I don't think it'll happen. I think it's probably gonna just be Bray Wyatt crushing Finn Balor the person. And they do the whole Bray let me in thing with the mask. They're really going to push this thing. So they show some highlights from the Raw reunion of 24/7 title. Then we see Charlotte being interviewed by Sarah Screeber, another good-looking chick they got. She's the blonde one. And Charlotte's mad. She's not at SummerSlam, and she's mad at Bayley. How dare you leave the leader, the woman responsible for the Women's Revolution, off of SummerSlam? She says she will be there, and she'll have a better opponent than Ember Moon, and she'll prove that she's the greatest superstar of all time. I don't know who her opponent's going to be then. If she's going to wrestle, maybe she interferes in the match. It could be a triple threat. She gets added. That's always a possibility, just like last year. And she got added to the match with Bayley and Carmella, and she won the title. Remember that? They could do that again this year. It wouldn't surprise me. But I don't think so. I think maybe I don't know who it could be, though. I don't see anyone really. It could be a female star in NXT. I don't know, but I don't see it being the title. I think they're going to go Bayley and Ember. So we got Owens and Roman Reigns with Drew as the referee, guest timekeepers Elias, and the announcer Shane. And if they hear Shane McMahon's voice, he sounds just like Peter Griffin from Family Guy. It's really annoying. So you have a good match here. Near the end, you have Roman Reigns. Shane gets into the interferes, but Roman brings him into the ring, and Roman hits a Superman punch, and then Owens hits a stunner, and then Owens hits another stunner. And what happened was Owens and Reigns basically united and destroyed everybody. They kicked Drew's ass, they kicked Shane's ass, and they kicked Elias's ass. And instead of having a match, they formed an alliance and went Rupshaw. So I don't know if they're going to do a 2-on-3 handicap match. They could go that direction with KO and Roman against the other three guys. That's definitely a possibility. They could go KO and Shane. I think that's more likely. And I hope it's not Roman and Drew yet again, man. How many times have we seen that? But they got to get a match for Roman. As for Drew, I think it's fairly obvious he's not going to be wrestling The Undertaker. That was rumored. That's not going to happen now, and they're just going to go with this new decision. So, show was not too bad. It was okay. It was an okay show, I'd say. Not as entertaining as Raw because it was a Raw reunion, but as a show, I thought it was pretty decent. And we're getting closer and closer now. Just under 3 weeks away until SummerSlam.